Leroy?
All sorts of rumors about what goes on in that house. The police never took it serious.
She's been feeding that thing between the walls again.
There must be another way out.
Can't get out. No one ever has. Your father's one sick mother, you know that? Actually, your mother's one sick mother, too.
It is time to clean house!
Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of the WayBack Movies Podcast, a show where we review the best and not so best of 80s and 90s cinema, because really, fuck the 2000s. My name is Steve, and with me on this crazy journey,
Justin.
Doctor. And we're back with another run down the Wes Craven hole, if you will. That sounded a lot worse than I intended it to sound. Let's have that stricken from the record, please. Ugh. It's even worse because he's dead. Ugh. God.
That's what we call a double whammy, bud.
Can we just, pretend I didn't say that? And we're back! And we're watching another Wes Craven movie. Ha ha ha! Ugh. I don't like myself anymore. But I guess it kind of works, because this is kind of an ugly movie, so I guess it kind of fits? Question mark? This is a weird, strange movie.
Oh, yes, very much so.
It's definitely one of his weirder outings. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Guess you want to just go back in time?
Well, maybe talk about what movie it is.
Well, I was going to get there. So anyway, we are talking about The People Under the Stairs from November 1st, 1991. A film that I guess you could say kind of was a major part of my childhood in an odd way. And
I don't know if this movie should be any part of anybody's childhood.
Well, no, you got to remember, as I was also a big horror fan, and this was a couple months from the time I seen my first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, and I loved horror growing up. I watched whatever I can get my hands on, but these movies, there was 4 movies in this realm in 90 to 91 that were in this you shouldn't see these because they're too scary. And they were The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which I'm not so much, Candyman, People Under the Stairs, and Dr. Giggles. Which we will talk about Dr. Giggles someday, trust me. I will make sure that happens. But these were all movies that literally they were you shouldn't see them, they're all kinds of fucked up, and they're really weird, and then people would talk about scenes in them. Things to this day that I still remember, certain things specifically from this movie that will never leave my psyche just because kids talked about it so much that it was so fucked up, i.e. Roach having his tongue cut off was a big thing, and the whole hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Kids talked about that rampant, even though none of us had ever seen them, so I don't know where the hell we got them from, but we'd always talked about it.
I'll tell you what stuck with me when we get to it. Something certainly I'm not going to leave my brain for a while.
I mean, this movie is a very odd mixture of goofy as fuck and then really fucked up and messed up.
Wes Craven made a choice.
He really
when
did.
He directed this film.
It's just, I mean, I'm going to guess that I liked this more than you did. I'm without even knowing for sure, but I'm going to guess that. But it is such a strange film to even describe, and I know we're going to attempt it, but I can honestly tell you, I have no idea how we're really going to make this make sense, if that makes any sense.
We're going to try.
Because it is such a fucking strange movie. But you know what? Like I said, let's just go back in time and figure this out. So we're going to, we're jumping in the WayBack machine going to 1991. Cut us off. I guess we're not going very far. Yeah, I don't know. The WayBack machine decided to just sort of crap out on us, but we're there. Screw it. I'm not restarting for little mistakes like that. So, hey, we're in 1991.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So I'm...
Oh, no.
I'm 9 years old.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
God, didn't know the damn thing was that sensitive. Shit. Couldn't step away from it for half a second. My God. So anyway, like I said, People Under the Stairs, November 1st, 1991. As we mentioned, written and directed by Wes Craven. Producers, Marianne Maddalena, as we've mentioned, she worked with Craven for quite a lot of films. Stuart
Most of
M.
them, right?
Besser was also a producer. No, like after a certain point, she was his assistant for X amount of time. And then, much like actually a lot of assistants, they become producers because they've been sitting and watching the job for so long that they kind of get into it. Production company, Alive Films. I believe this was his third for them. Distributor, Universal Pictures. Box office of $31.4 million against a budget of $6 million. So it did make a profit.
Yeah, not bad.
It was surprisingly successful. Again, the whole horror thing of just make it cheap.
Make it over $5 and you'll make your money back, and then some.
So, the cast. Brandon Adams, Poindexter Fool Williams. Everett McGill is Daddy. Wendy Robbie is Mommy. AJ Langer is Alice. Ving Rhames, Leroy. Bill Cobbs is Grandpa Booker. Kelly Jo Minter is Ruby. Sean Whalen as Roach. Jeremy Roberts as Spencer. And Connie Marie Brazelton as Mary. Not a very big cast.
No.
But before we get into the film proper, let's talk some more about Wes Craven. Might be the last facts we do about Wes Craven, because after a certain point in time, the guy really didn't do much. He just kind of kept his head down and worked, so he didn't really have much of a life to speak of after this. Just kind of made movies. So, But either way. This I found interesting, though. He directed a documentary about former President Bill Clinton. Craven and the film crew followed Clinton for 3 hours into the White House a few days before his departure. Okay, sure, if you say so.
You guys might want to take a lunch break. I
gotta meet this lady here, and I have this.
Maybe leave the camera.
I'm not gonna inhale, and we are not gonna have sexual relations. But get out.
That's what he was thinking the whole time. Like, he's gonna bang some bird. He's gonna do it.
I mean, I
know he's gonna do it.
I mean, if you're
the whole reason we're making this goddamn movie, I know he's gonna do it. At any point
in time, if you're following Clinton around, you're just hoping that he's fucking someone. Preferably not Hillary. That's as close to political as I'm getting, so deal with it. So, when actor-producer Robert Evans suffered a stroke in 1998, Craven was having a drink with him in Evans' screening room. When he collapsed in front of Craven, Evans, he basically scared the shit out of him, so Evans later quipped, "I really scared the shit out of the King of Horror." Good for him, I guess. I think he's still alive, so yay.
Bob Evans.
Bob Evans, man. Developed the Evil House premise for the computer game Wes Craven's Principle of Fear. Although the game won About Games Bronze Medal Award for Interactive Fiction when the prototype was demonstrated at the 1997's E3 in Atlanta, the game was never completed due to financial failure of the game's publisher.
It happens.
Yeah. Like I said, these are the only facts I got about Wes. There's really not much. I will try to get some more for next week, but I'm running out because, again, the guy just started to work. So maybe I'll find a way to tribute him in some way for the next couple. We'll see. So anyway, production on this film. Wes was inspired to write the film in part after a dream he had because of reading a real-life news story from a 1978 about two African-American burglars who made a forced entry into a house in Los Angeles, which unintentionally led to the local law enforcement discovering a pair of children who had been locked away by their parents, never allowed to go outside. The couple seemed quite respectable from the outside. The children were found to be quite feral, never having seen the outside. Wes became obsessed with the idea of a normal family hiding unspeakable evil just beneath the surface. So basically, he just lifted the story.
He kind of...
Yeah, a little bit.
Got a knack for that, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. But, you know what? He does good work.
Hey, he takes the idea, takes the nucleus of an idea, and then he makes a good movie out of it. So it doesn't matter if it's not all off the top of his brain, because let's be honest, Hollywood hasn't had original thought. And
that's literally what I was getting at, is like,
since these movies have been made, since the 80s probably.
Yeah, like I gotta tell you, we could use some more Wes Cravens in the current cinematic world, is all I'm saying. The film was made on a relatively low budget without a significant studio interference, which I'm sure Wes loved. The Thomas W. Phillips residence, located at 2215 South Harvard Boulevard in Los Angeles, was used in the film as the House of the Robesons, which were technically their names. Their names were Robeson. I had...
Nobody's calling them that in this rundown, I assure you.
Although somebody does refer to Daddy as Eldon Robeson, so he did have a name, she did not.
They will be referred to as Daddy and Mommy.
Daddy and Mommy, or in the credits, I believe they were man and woman. Yeah. But I prefer to call them Mommy and Daddy, because it's just funnier that way, especially when you find out the rest of the film. West chose Wendy Robbie and Everett McGill to play the parts of Mommy and Daddy after seeing them play husband and wife on the TV series Twin Peaks.
One of the greatest television shows ever created.
I've never gotten through it. I watched the first, the pilot movie, and loved it, and never went back to it, and I don't know why.
I'm fully warning anyone who's listening to this. If you want to pick up Twin Peaks, I've never seen it. I forewarn you, it is one of the strangest things you will ever see in your entire life. But it is absolutely fantastic. And it was great to see them both married on there, and then go, oh, look, they're here as a couple as well.
Sort of. We'll get there. Wendy Robbie claims that this movie is the most fun she ever had on a film set and one of her favorite projects she's ever done. It does look like it would probably be kind of fun playing that character.
Oh, both of them. I mean? I'm sure they both had a blast. When you're allowed to literally
be insane
feast on the scenery,
you
have a good day at work.
Yeah, it does seem like playing those characters were way too much fun. Hilary Swank auditioned for the role of Roach. Roach was originally written to be either male or female.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see Hilary Swank with short haircut.
Yeah. I mean, you could have a female version of Roach. There was no need for Roach to be male. It's just probably Sean Whalen because he was the guy in everything in that time period.
Super character actor, man.
Yeah, he had this, period in that time period where he was in everything and then disappeared off the face of the earth. Kind of a shame, because he's really good at everything.
I just hope he collected whatever money he got from Hollywood and got the fuck out.
I would hope so. He's in a lot of TV, so he's probably got residual checks up the ass. So I would think, actually, because one very memorable episode of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, I'm hoping he's getting some fucking sweet cash from that DC app. That's never coming to Canada, you bastards.
He's also really great in Hebrew Hammer.
Yeah, I don't see too
many. Movie that I don't think anyone on the face of the earth, other than me and the people who made it, know of its existence.
I know of its existence. I've never seen it.
It's fantastic.
I'm sure it is.
I wish we could cover it in this show, but unfortunately, it is beyond our parameters.
Well, maybe one day we'll take a brief respite into the 2000s, but we're way, way away from that ever happening. So, actor Sean Whalen, who played Roach, was 27 years old when he played a part of a character who's at least supposed to be 15 or 16 in the film. So, that was good. Although Alice was 12.
Really?
Alice was supposed to be 12. Actress A.J. Langer was almost 17 when she played the character. It is the first film for both of them. This was hilarious. A.J. Langer, who was Alice, is now a countess.
Of Devon.
In 2004, she married the Earl of Devon, Charles Courtenay, who was a member of British Parliament. And I literally wrote this because I tried. As I understand it, he was elected, but it is still his birthright between him and at least one other royal family to take the position. British monarchy's fucked up, yo. I tried to understand what the hell this meant, and that sentence was an hour of research.
Put it this way, everybody. The British monarchy is going to work a lot like the backstory of Mommy and Daddy when we get to it at the end of this film.
Yeah, a little bit. Poquito. Yeah, a little bit.
We'll get there.
So, Kelly Jo Minter was also in A Nightmare on Elm Street 5 Dream Child 2 years earlier.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
We will see you in a couple weeks. I'd forgotten that, too, until I heard the voice. Because her voice is the first thing you hear, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Yvonne. Oh, right, she was in this movie.
We will see you in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm sure you'll know about this. Brandon Adams. He's a 90s child actor, more known as Jesse Hall from the first 2 Mighty Ducks movies.
What's up?
And Penny DeNunez from The Sandlot. I have a feeling there will be a month where we just cover those.
The minute I saw him, I'm like, that's my boy Jesse!
Yeah.
Oh, we will be covering Mighty Ducks sooner than you probably imagine.
And The Sandlot, I would hope, because of the 3, that is the one I like the most, which is ironic because I hate baseball.
Yeah, it's funny because you hate baseball.
I hate baseball, but I like baseball movies. It's kind of a thing. I do kind of enjoy baseball movies.
Oh, We'll be discussions off air. Off air.
Mm-hmm. Off air. We'll figure it out. Throughout the entire movie, you hear the